Today, I talk about motorcycles and how you can look at your business through fresh eyes. This show is for everyone working at the coalface. Digital, business, marketing, social. This is At the Coalface with your host, Jason Greenwood. Hello everyone, I'm Jason Greenwood and this is episode 10 of At the Coalface. I'm seriously pumped. Episode 10, it's a bit of a mini milestone. It's hopefully the beginning of many episodes to come. And I'm off the back of a very strong week last week. This is Monday, so I'm off of a very strong week last week. Spent the entire week down in Collingwood, New Zealand, which is in the South Island. You fly into Nelson and you drive over the Takaka Hill, which is a very tall, steep hill with lots of twists and turns. Would be a perfect hill for a motorcycle, actually. But I was in a car, and then I went over the backside of the Takaka Hill, and then basically as you go down through there, a couple of small towns later, you're in Collingwood, and Collingwood is Health Post's operations center, so dispatch, inwards goods, warehousing, customer service, IT, pretty much all of the operations of the business, the hub of operations, except for some of the management teams based up here in Auckland. So it was a really exciting time to be down there. I spent a lot of time going through the business, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But this weekend, had a fantastic weekend. On Saturday, as many of you may know, motorcycling is one of my great passions. Currently have a 2007 Yamaha R1 motorcycle, and on Saturday, myself and a group of friends went out to Hampton Downs Raceway here in Auckland and had a track day. So it's the first time I've been to Hampton Downs. I've done track days at other tracks before, but first time I've ever been to Hampton Downs. It was amazing. The bike performed really, really well. Had a great time. Packed it up on Friday night after getting back late from Collingwood. So it was a late night of packing. I didn't get to bed till about 1 a.m. and was excited and pumped for the next day. So didn't get a lot of sleep and was back up at 6 a.m. The following morning. So yeah, it was a long day on the Saturday, but it was a heck of a lot of fun, and we had a great time. We had a really, really good time. None of my group crashed. The odd person did crash on the day, as you always get with track days, and so yeah, that was a fantastic time. Really, really good. Then on Sunday yesterday, had a squash tournament. Squash is another great love of mine, and had a squash tournament yesterday, and had a good time at my local club. So yeah, strong week, strong weekend. Really, really pumped to be getting back into it this Monday morning though, and good to be back in the Auckland office. I will be back in the Auckland office as soon as I fight my way through the Auckland traffic. On the way there now. And really, really stoked. But what I want to talk to you about today is, I guess, trying to make it contextual for you, but something I've certainly learned over my digital career, and that's how to look at your business through fresh eyes, or fresh digital eyes, I should say, more than anything else. So if you're a digital practitioner, if you're an e-commerce manager, or you're a head of digital, or you work on a content team, or whatever the case may be, whatever role you have in the digital landscape, whether it be merchant side or agency side, you want to take a look at, if you're merchant side, then you want to look at your own business and through fresh eyes. If you're agency side, then you want to look at your customers' businesses through fresh eyes. And I think what prompted me to make this particular video and try to make it relevant to the wider audience, as opposed to just talk about my experience and that's it, just kind of letting you connect the dots, trying to do some dot connecting on your behalf. And the reality is, when I went down to Collingwood, it's only my third week at Health Post. It feels a lot longer than that. It feels like I'm part of the furniture in some respects, which is an awesome feeling. And everybody's made me feel very, very welcome and been very transparent and open with me. And not all businesses will have that, I guess, level of welcome behavior for new staff, or be as open with each other perhaps as you'd like them to be. But every business has different sections in it that are required to help that business run. Even a small business of 5 or less staff has different departments, has different divisions of labor, has different people doing different things to achieve the goals of the business. Now, when you get up to a medium-sized business, sort of 20, 30, 40, 50 and up staff, then you tend at that point to have different business units within the business, or different divisions, different departments, and as a result of that, there will be a hierarchy or structure in place, typically where you have a department manager or supervisor or team leader that kind of leads the team, drives innovation in that particular area of the business, and that's what I want to speak to. So last week in Health Post in the Operations Center, I literally went and sat down and took time out and scheduled time in with every single department manager in the business. So that's from inwards goods to dispatch to customer service to IT to the web team to all the different departments in the business that we have that operationally make the business run on a day-to-day basis. I went and spoke to the managers of each one of those departments, and we spent some quality time together. It ranged at the shortest from about a half an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours in some instances with those managers. And I guess it was easy for me to look at the business through fresh eyes because I'm new. I'm still very new to the business, and so I don't have any preconceived ideas, I guess, of the way things are done. There's no sacred cows, and we're very lucky at Health Post that there aren't any sacred cows anyway, because in most businesses there's areas you don't delve into, there's things that you don't touch, whether that's because the owner wants them that way, or that's the way they've always been done. And so you can't really go there. Whereas I was very fortunate that a combination of two things happened. One is I'm a naturally inquisitive person anyway, and I always encourage you to be naturally inquisitive and retain that childlike fascination with your business. And as a digital practitioner, and as someone who's helped businesses architect their businesses in the past and is now trying to help Health Post architect their business for the future. So thinking about some of those strategic planning objectives and where we want to be in 1, 2, 3, 5 years, and trying to both roadmap the technology, the people, the processes, and the marketing and all of the content and everything that goes along with architecting the business of the future that you want to have, if you have that perfect vision of your future. And so you need to look at your business with fresh eyes. You need to go in there, if you're an owner and you've been an owner of that business for a long time, or you've been the manager or the GM or the CEO of a business for I would say over 2 years, then you potentially run the risk of being out of touch with your business. And when I say out of touch with the business, I mean not really fully comprehending or appreciating or understanding just what it is that each department does in their contribution to the success or failure of your business. And so I was able to go in with fresh eyes. We were able to find some pain points, some key pain points, some what I call low-hanging fruit in each of those departments that because I was looking at things at fresh eyes, I really uncovered every stone, or tried to. And so I was able to go back to the business and say, look, this appears to be low-hanging fruit. If we tweak these tiny little things here and there, could it make it better, easier, more efficient for everyone? And would everybody like what they're doing just that little bit more? And I think it really does come down to wanting your staff to engage with the business and trying to create an environment where it's feasible and realistic for them to engage, where it's feasible and realistic for them to have enjoyment in their job, and it's feasible and realistic for them to be fulfilled in what they do. Because only when your staff are fulfilled and feeling valued and appreciated in the business, only then will you get the very best out of them. And so if you can make little tweaks, and I'll give you one example from my experience down at Health Post. So we in customer service, we try to help customers place orders in whatever way they want to place the order, whether that be through live chat, whether that be through email, whether that be through telephone, whether that be through I think we even take orders via fax still. But anyways, we have a very wide and diverse customer base, and they've been doing business with us for a very long time, and as a result of that, we want to make it easy for them to do business with us. Now, in the efforts to do that, we allow certain things to happen in customer service that we don't allow on the front end of the website. So for example, if something's out of stock, on the front end of the website, you can't order it. We don't take back orders because the stock is in such fluidity all of the time, and especially when we run promotions and things like that, they can sell out very fast. So we don't want to get into an oversold scenario where we may not get that piece of stock or that particular SKU back in for some time for whatever reason. We don't want to disappoint the customer. We don't want to have to split orders if we can help it, where they get part of their order first and then 2 weeks later they get another piece of their order. There's some logistical headaches that go along with that, and additional courier costs and all sorts of things. So just we've made the decision as a business to only sell product that we have in stock on the shelves in our system, and to manage the exceptions to that is very, very time consuming for the business. It can add 10 to 15 minutes to an individual order when we need to handle the exceptions to that rule. And so in customer service's effort to make the customer happy at all costs, we had an extra piece of functionality added to our platform, whereby the admin assisted ordering system in the back end of the website, the customer service staff could place back orders. So what they were doing is they were placing back orders to help the customer. If something was out of stock, somebody could ring up and they could go, look, when's this product back in? We would give them an estimated due date of the product being back in stock, but we would also, if they wanted us to take a back order for them so that it would ship out once that product came back into stock. So a very different experience through customer service, trying to be helpful versus the I guess level of service, the standard of service we were trying to set on the front end of the website. So there was an inconsistency there, and we wanted to bring consistency to those two, not only from a customer experience perspective, but also from removing the source of some of these exceptions to our rules, which become very disruptive to the business. So trying to harmonize and make the customer experience consistent and seamless, and remove friction in the business as well. So we were able to do that. We're talking about ways in which we can do that. So we're probably going to put a technical blocker in place. We're going to help our customer service staff understand why we've taken that functionality away out of admin, so that they simply can't place an order for product that's out of stock. And a lot of times, it's through no fault of their own in terms of customer service. They may not even have realized that something was out of stock. They may have been too busy trying to help the customer to go and actually check on the stock level or stock quantity before they placed their order. And because they were able to do it, technically speaking, they just did it. And so by removing that technical ability to place a back order through admin, and also by communicating to our customer service staff why we're changing that policy, and helping them understand the downstream effects in the rest of the business, the ripple effect of them doing that on every other department, and really increasing the workload in the frustration and complexity in other areas of the business as a result of trying to help the customer in that way. So that's what I mean by fresh eyes. I'm saying, come and look at your business, every single area of your business, and just talk to the people who are at the coalface, that are in the trenches, that are in the daily grind of doing that job. And I guarantee you, they will tell you what their pain points are. They will tell you where the friction is in their day-to-day job, in their day-to-day role. They will tell you, you may have to provide an environment where they don't feel threatened when they do tell you these things, and that's your job as a manager, as a boss, as a CEO, a COO, Chief Operations Officer, whatever the case may be, whatever role you have to play in that. And some might argue that as an e-commerce manager, what the heck am I doing going and talking to the inwards goods manager? What am I doing going and talking to the dispatch manager? But our systems and our technology and our e-commerce platform and everything we do affects every other area of the business, and we can either make it better for them, or we can make it harder for them. And so for me to understand, both technically process people, what other areas of the business are doing and what they're trying to achieve and how they're trying to achieve it, seeing where those friction points are and seeing how we can relieve those friction points from a pure e-commerce perspective, it's really important that we all work together as a team. So, and that's true in every business. Every business is a team, and no one can do their job from the kind of highest position in the business right on down to what you might be considered the lowest positions in your business, whatever those might be. No one can do their job without the other. And so there is a very much an interdependence, a codependence there that, everyone in the business needs to understand that right from top to bottom, it's really critical that you work together. So I don't want to belabor the point, but in our case, it was a very, very tiny tweak to one area that's going to have a dramatic impact across all other areas of the business. And it doesn't even require a huge investment. It's a tiny little tweak in process. It's a very, very small, almost inconsequential tweak to the technology, and it can help the business function so much better across the board. And your business will have low-hanging fruit just like that. It will have areas of friction both internally and externally. And if you can look at it through fresh eyes and you can go, well, look, let's sit down, let's thrash this out. Let's peek into the dark corners of our business that maybe we haven't looked into in a very long time because we just assumed it was working perfectly, because otherwise, if it wasn't working perfectly, someone would have shouted by now. But not everybody's a squeaky wheel. That's the thing. Some people will not be squeaky wheels. It's just not in their nature. It's not in their personality to rock the boat. So you have to provide the environment where staff feel empowered to rock the boat, to make the boat better, to plug holes in the boat, so that instead of just having buckets to bail out the boat, you're actually plugging the holes for good. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about today. You'll have incredible engagement, particularly as staff see these things change and as they see their feedback being implemented. And you might not be able to implement straight away, and you might be able to give them a roadmap of when things are likely to change based on their feedback back to you. And so, providing an environment where people feel empowered, providing an environment where people, the change is transparent and it's telegraphed back to the business before it happens, so there's no surprises, so everybody can get on board and get buy-in. And then obviously providing feedback back to those people about how their feedback to you, creating that feedback loop, how that's improved the business, and how you have actually implemented changes to address what they've raised with you. So that constant feedback loop, soliciting feedback, soliciting recommendations from every area of the business, incorporating those either into your tactical or strategic planning, depending on how significant a change is required, and then providing that feedback loop, the close of that feedback loop back to the people who are driving that feedback and driving those recommendations and change. So that's the total feedback loop that will drive engagement of your staff. Those are the things that are going to really incrementally improve the business, and over time you'll have a much more efficient business. You'll have happier staff. You'll have lower churn of your staff, and you will just see your engagement levels skyrocket, and therefore the engagement with the customer, whoever's actually interfacing with your customers, they will feel more positive about the business, and that will show and that will rub off into every engagement that you have moving forward. So those are the things that you need to do when you look at your business through fresh eyes. Those are the things that are going to improve your business over time. Hope it's been helpful.